Hello, Krista here. Just popping in with a quick message for you real fast. I had previously posted the video that you're about to see, but there was a message on my dashboard that said that the video was waiting even though it had already posted. So looking at that, it looked like it was duplicates and I deleted it, and then it deleted the entire thing. So YouTube noob here, trying to figure all this stuff out and how these things work. That's not a mistake I intend to duplicate. So this is the apples and French onion soup video that I did previously, but it got deleted from my account because I made a mistake. So now I'm reposting it. So if you've already watched it, thank you. If you haven't watched it, welcome. I would appreciate a thumbs up, subscription, comments, all of that stuff. That helps YouTube to see that people actually enjoy what I'm doing, and it helps me to see that people actually enjoy what I'm doing, and it motivates me to keep going. I am trying real hard to be consistent with videos and posting once a week. However, I do live in the boonies and we don't have the greatest internet here. So a lot of times it will take days for my videos to upload. At which point I end up in tears heading to Starbucks so that I can sit and drink a coffee and upload a video for an hour. So just so you know, that is what's going on. If my videos are kind of like you don't know when they're going to come out, that would be why, is because I don't have the greatest internet here. So without further ado, here is the video, and thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Bye. Welcome to Ovalar Adventures. I'm Krista, and I'm glad you're here with me today. Today we're in the Homestead kitchen because I have a lot of things I need to take care of. One of them being I have a bunch of apples that I purchased a while ago. And they are starting to get wrinkly and I need to take care of them. I need to do something with them because I don't want them to go to waste. I don't want to just feed them to the pig or chickens. So what I'm going to do is get them all chopped up. I have a couple of recipes that I found for some breakfast cookies. And I find that if I have something on hand for the kids to eat in the morning, they're a lot more likely to grab something like that instead of either not eating or trying to find a bowl of cereal or something like that, which I don't usually keep cereal in the house. So sometimes I just don't eat breakfast. A lot of times I will have an appointment in the morning, so I won't be here when they're getting up in the morning. My kids are 13 and up, so no worries about them being here by themselves, but I want to make sure that they're getting something good to eat for breakfast, something that will give them a little bit of energy, something that will help kind of fuel their day and get them started. So I'm going to make some breakfast cookies. I also have a whole bunch of beef broth, beef stock going in the pot behind me here, and I'm going to be using that to make some French onion soup to can, to have it on the shelves in the canning room. So I got a lot of things going on today. So I'm going to take you with me, if you don't mind, and we'll get started. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm taking an entire gallon bag of apples that I had already previously sliced, and I'm just peeling them and cutting them into small chunks. These apple chunks are the basis for both of the apple recipes that I am making today. I'm doubling this recipe, so I'm going to use 4 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of cloves, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, and I'm going to stir those all together and get them fully incorporated. In my mixer, I put 1 cup of shortening, and it's the kind that I get from Azure Standard, so it's more environmentally friendly and not as refined as regular shortening that you would get at the grocery store. I'm also putting 2 2/3 cups of brown sugar and 2 eggs in there and mixing those all together. And then I'm taking half of the flour mixture and adding it to the shortening mixture. After getting half of the flour incorporated into the shortening mixture, I am going to add half a cup of apple juice or milk. In this case, I had milk, so that's what I used. And then 2 cups of raisins, 2 cups of chopped apple, 2 cups of nuts. And then I am going to add the remaining flour mixture. One thing my mama always taught me was to make sure that you clean up as you go, so that's what I'm trying to do. Just wiping up some spills and getting things put away that I don't need to have out on the counter anymore. I'm adding parchment paper to the cookie sheets to make it easier to remove the cookies when they're done baking. And then I'm going to start putting the dough onto the cookie sheets. I'm making these as breakfast cookies, so I want them to be a little bit bigger than normal cookies. A little trick that I figured out for dealing with parchment paper, because it can sometimes slide around, is if you put the cookie dough on opposite corners of the cookie sheet, it will stay still while you finish putting the cookie dough on the rest of the cookie sheet. These are going to go in a 375-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 14 minutes. At the 11-minute mark, you're going to want to check on them and make sure that they are doing okay. Once they are slightly browned around the edges, that's when you're going to want to take them out. You want them to still be soft, but not too soft that they're not thoroughly baked. Time for the moment of truth. They're tasty. Good recipe. So for the apple oatmeal cookie, my daughter isn't eating sugar. Right now she'll eat fruit and she'll eat other things, but she doesn't want to have sugar. So I am going to make it with something else instead, and I gotta figure out what it is I'm gonna put in there. Probably a little bit of monk fruit. I'll just omit the sugar altogether, and then I'll just use powdered monk fruit concentrate. It doesn't have any added anything in it. It's just straight monk fruit, so it's extra super sweet. So if I just put a little bit in there, I think that'll be good enough. So this is the monk fruit that I have, and you can find it on Amazon. There are other kinds too. Sometimes I get the Lancato, but it has erythritol in it. So this is just straight monk fruit. And I'm gonna use this. So monk fruit is 25 times sweeter than sugar. So my recipe calls for a half a cup of brown sugar, but I'm gonna be doubling it. So that would be 1 cup of sugar. So I am going to need to get 2 teaspoons of monk fruit to use to substitute for the cup of brown sugar. I'm also using gluten-free flour in these recipes because that's what our family eats, but you can use regular flour too. This recipe also calls for honey, but she's trying to avoid things that have a lot of carbohydrates in it. So I'm going to use yacon syrup. I hope I'm saying that right. This is a prebiotic sweetener, and it doesn't have a lot of carbohydrates in it, so I'm going to be using that. It also calls for milk, but I'm going to be making it with almond milk instead of regular milk. So one more extra little adaptation to this recipe. It also calls for raisins, but I just used raisins in the other cookies that I made, so I'm going to use dried cranberries for this recipe. So that's what these are here, and I will be using these. Inhaled a little bit of the monk fruit. It's very sweet. Now for the French onion soup. This yields 12 pint jars or 6 quart jars. I used quarts. You're going to need 8 pounds of thinly sliced yellow onions, 8 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of white wine, 12 cups of beef broth, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 14 cloves of minced garlic or 14 teaspoons of dried minced garlic, 1 tablespoon non-iodized salt, 2 teaspoons dried thyme, 2 teaspoons ground black pepper, and 6 bay leaves. Okay, so since I made these special with low carbs, well, no, not low carbs because it has flour and oats in it, but the sugar, there's low sugar. So what do you think?
They're good.
They're good? Okay, would you eat those for breakfast?
Oh yeah.
Okay, got the thumbs up, all right. I have to add a cup into this once these are caramelized.
You have to what?
I have to add a cup of that into the onions once they're caramelized.
It smells good.
They're starting to cook down. Also gonna get Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce.
This smells good.
Making the French onion soup is a long process. It's starting to get dark outside and I've been at it for hours. So the onions have to caramelize and it takes about an hour of cooking them down in the butter for them to do so because it's such a large amount of onions. It's like 8 pounds. So just have to be patient and wait for it to be ready to move on to the next step. Though this is seriously taking forever, it is actually coming together. So just a matter of time before I can add the other ingredients and finally actually get this in the can. We are getting there. It's a slow process, but we're getting there. Oh my gosh, Jason, I just dropped my measuring spoon down in the bricks.
Where?
Down there. Yeah, you might need to go get the
Hi there.
magnet thing. I have a thing against having a canner operating without all of the available space being used by jars. So when I have some extra room in a canner, I will put in something else, like in this case it's beef chunks in beef broth. They process at the same time and for the same amount of time as the French onion soup. So it just makes more sense to me to use up that energy all the way and completely efficiently. So that's what I do. Finally ready to go load the canner, so I'm going to do that now. I will process this for an hour and a half after it vents for 10 minutes, and I put the weight on it comes up to 10 pounds pressure, and then we'll be about ready to be done with this. I let the canner vent for 10 minutes before putting the weight on for 10 pounds pressure. In summary, did I get everything done that I wanted to do? No. I was hoping to get some apple pie filling made as well, but I just ran out of time. The onions for the French onion soup took way too long. So is that something that I'll make again? Probably. But I think what I would do, you know, looking back now, is to prep everything ahead of time, like slice all the onions ahead of time, get everything ready to go, and then, you know, just take a day and do the assembly and the cooking of the actual soup and the canning. Just get that all done, but have all the prep work done beforehand. I think that would probably be a better option. The cookies were a big hit. Everybody is enjoying them, and I will definitely make those again. If you make any of these recipes, would you do me a favor and just write me a comment down below and let me know what you think? And in the meantime, I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye for now.